Thanks for being here, guys. I want to take a little time to set up the class and tell you a little bit about myself, if that's all right. Give you a little bit of my history and essentially why we're here, what we want to do, what we want to create. If we got any questions, we'll do that at the end. And maybe you have some suggestions. This is going to be something that we are all going to be participating in and creating together as well. I want you to think about, in your imagination, if you will, all of us standing in a circle. I know you're in chairs and stuff like that, but we're all in that circle together. I'm in that circle with you. I'm going to step inside the circle right now. But I am part of that circle with you guys. I'm no better. Hopefully no worse. And we're all going to take turns stepping into that circle. And we're all going to be around each other, supporting each other. That's a big thing of what I want to create here, is that we have not just a group of actors, but maybe considered a team or even a family. When you're here, and you're here as much to support your fellow artists as much as you're here for yourself. Absolutely, you're here to take for yourself. Absolutely, you're here to learn, to practice, to work out. That's what I want this to be. I want this to be a gym, right? This is a place where you come and you work out. We're going to play, and we're going to play a lot. I am not big on negative reinforcement. I'm not big on anything like that. I believe in support. I believe in celebration. We're going to celebrate each other here. We are going to have a strong emphasis on film, television, audition. Spokane has an amazing pool of talent, but most of it is geared towards theater. We have a show entering its third season that's doing very well on Sci-Fi. I think they're signed up for 5 more seasons already. It's game on. They are casting leads as we speak for season 3. So I want as many Spokane actors as possible to be ready to walk into that room and to be ready to walk on set and to know what's expected of them, to know what is required of you when you're there. And the difference of when you're on set as opposed to the audition room, because those are different, right? So, a little bit about me. I started acting, I was thinking about it, in 1987. Maybe 86 I made a decision. I had to, it was high school for me. We're talking 30 years, almost 3/4 of my life. I needed a fine arts requirement. And I was painting, sculpting, stuff that I was like, no way. No clue. I did not grow up with really any kind of art background whatsoever. And I saw acting as an option, and I thought, well, acting's a joke. That'll be an easy A. I'll do that. Little did I know. Of course, it was my favorite class. And that was my first semester junior year. Second semester, the teacher/director asked if I would audition for the musical. In my mind, I thought, what musical? I didn't know my school did musicals. I had seen a show at my school while I was taking that class, because we were required to go see a play. Other than maybe the Nutcracker when I was a kid and Christmas Carol with my school, I hadn't been to the theater. So I went and saw Cyrano de Bergerac. And I was like a kid at the circus. And all I could think of is, I can do that. I want to do that. Of course, I wanted to play Cyrano. You know. So the next show was 1776. I was cast as John Hancock, president of the Continental Congress. And then I did the 2 shows senior year. We did Nicholas Nickleby and My Fair Lady. I played Alfred Doodle of My Fair Lady. And after that, I knew this was it. This is what I'm going to do with my life. I went to Santa Clara University. I started out as a double major in acting and psychology. Halfway through my college career, I just went 100% with acting. That was it. I was clear, done deal. After that, I went to graduate school at ACT, American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. It's a 2-year program back then, now it's a 3-year program. Back between junior and senior year, I did the Summer Training Congress at ACT. It's a 10-week course. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Basically a mini version of the graduate program. That's what graduate school was. Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day of classes. It's a conservatory. You got ballet, you got jazz, yoga, Alexander technique. I should be practicing that right? Speech, voice, acting, master acting, and then you have rehearsals because you got to start doing shows. My second year of graduate school, I'd leave my house at 6 a.m. and I would get home around midnight. And it was awesome. Loved it. Yeah, sometimes I wish I could go back to that, right? To just swim in it and be immersed in it. Not everybody has that luxury, right? We got jobs, we gotta pay the rent, we gotta pay bills. So you find a class. After graduate school, I moved to New York. I lived in New York for 3 years. I did theater around the country, did some TV out there. Then I moved to Los Angeles. On my way to Los Angeles, I stopped off at home in San Francisco. I ended up booking a role on Nash Bridges while I was there, because I was shooting in San Francisco. Went down to LA. Was in LA for almost 14 years. Lots of auditions, not that much TV. Found another theater group. Down there, all theater is equity waiver. You basically pay to be part of a company, and that's how you perform. There's like maybe two professional theaters in all of Los Angeles. Back then. Now, maybe it's different. The acting group that I belong to had a workshop, and there's a lot of that I want here. The work we do here is going to be based on what you bring. Okay? We're going to have a sign-up list. Put your name on the list. That's the order we go in. You got to bring in the work. Yeah, I can give you assignments and we can do scene study and stuff like that, and we will. But for the most part, what do you got? What do you want to work on? If you have an audition, I think we should make that priority. Let's put auditions at the top of the list to make sure those get worked, if it works out. It's not always going to happen. Usually, hey, you got an audition tomorrow, right? But this work that you're going to do here is going to help you to start to be ready for that. How do you do those quick turnarounds? We don't have the luxury of 4, 5, 6 weeks of rehearsal, right? So what do we do? How do we do it? How do we be real in these weird, awkward situations, these small rooms? I moved to Spokane. It'll be 6 years this August. I was in town for 2.5 weeks, and I had my first audition, and it was that Ray Liotta film. I made it to producer callbacks. I was director's choice, casting director's choice. They even bumped me up to chief of police. Didn't get the role, which that's life, right? There were films back then, and now, fast forward, we got Z Nation. I worked on Z Nation for season, episode 3. I played Tobias, and you can see me in every single act of that episode. It's the first really big part to be cast out of Spokane. Doug Dawson actually, I believe, was in episode 2. It was a smaller role, but they fell in love with those guys. They brought him back for another episode, season 1. And then they brought him back again, season 2, and guess what? They're bringing him back again for season 3. So Like they say, there are no small parts. And when there's something as fluid as this show, and they're writing as they go, my character description before I auditioned had me listed with multiple episodes. By the time we went to shoot, they planned on killing the character before we started shooting. You don't see me die, so who knows? That would be fun. But speaking to people in this town, people in the industry, there's a need to get our actors, Spokane, Team Spokane, right? To get us ready to walk in that room. When I walked in to that final producer callback, it might have been the most nervous I have ever been in my life. I've been doing this for years. Been in lots of big producer callbacks. But when I look back, I realized, well, this is the first producer callback I've had in a long time. And it's the same room that I had 2 previous auditions with Nike, the casting director. Except this time, there were 3 people sitting on the side of the room right here. Literally under your nose. I got the part. First day of shooting, I am on set and I see Nike. I give her a hug. Hey, how you doing? I said, listen, I gotta tell you, that callback audition, she said, you were nervous. I said, yeah. Was it that obvious? She said, no. So I didn't notice it till I watched the playback of the tape. But you have technique to cover that. That is what we want. It's okay to be nervous. Just don't let them see you, right? Don't let them see you sweat, right? And that comes with practice. That's the only way that you're going to get that. Actors, I believe, are artists. I consider myself to be an artist, but we have this kind of interesting way about us sometimes, and I'll say we can be lazy. I know because I'm one of them. I've been one of them. I know what that is. And there's a quote. I was talking to my brother-in-law, and a friend of ours is in charge of the Mead Drama Department. And there's a quote that he gives all his students, so I want to read that. This is from Stanislavski's My Life in Art. If you're not familiar with Stanislavski as an actor, you probably should be. We'll discuss books, we'll discuss good resources for you guys to look at along the way. But he says, let someone explain to me why the violinist who plays in an orchestra on the 10th violin must daily perform hour-long exercises or lose his power to play. Why does the dancer work daily over every muscle in his body? Why do the painter, the sculptor, the writer practice their art each day and count that day lost when they do not work? And why may the dramatic artist do nothing, spend his day in coffee houses, and hope for the gift of inspiration in the evening? Enough! Is this an art when its priests speak like amateurs? There is no art that does not demand virtuosity. Let's be virtuosos, right? This is about committing. This is about committing to yourself, to your art, to your craft. I love this. I love acting. I have given up lots of family time to do it. In this town, you got theater. Most of it you don't get paid for. We're in the one place that does right now, right? And thank you, George, once again, for this space and this opportunity. I can't teach passion. That's something that you got to find for yourself. If you have it, or if you want it, then you have to work it. Everyone is familiar with an athlete having a coach, right? Well, it makes sense, right? You need a coach. I work as a life and business coach. Most of the successful people out there have a coach of some sort. They have someone that's going to help them along the way. They're not out there doing it by themselves. It's easy to go months and months without an audition in this town. I know, I just did. And I was going to say, don't expect, to book something if you've been sitting around doing nothing for months. But I did, I booked 2 gigs. I got my first lead in a full-length 2-hour feature film. And that's going to be coming up pretty soon. It should not conflict with this. And I also booked an industrial out by North by Northwest. And that was awesome also. I went in the other day. I was in and out of the building in an hour total. We had 2 pages of script, me and another actor. Actual shooting time was maybe 30 minutes. Bam, bam, bam. They were incredibly happy. I felt great about it. That's what you want. You want to walk in, you want to bang it out. I went up on my lines. I went up on my lines when I was shooting Z Nation. That's okay. It happens. Don't apologize, for starters. Just, you know what? What's the line? Okay. And they'll probably keep rolling, keep going. It's this beautiful thing called editing, right? So, like I said, I want to create a group of people that are here for each other, that are supporting each other, that are going to work their asses off just as much to support each other than they are to be here for themselves. If you're up for the same role and you got an opportunity to work with each other, help each other, do it. I'm not into the criticism, I'm not into the judging, right? I see an actor, all I can think of is, you know what, I probably would have done a different choice. Don't badmouth other artists, guys, right? I mean, the same way you want to be respected, that's what we want. That's what I want to generate. I want, like I said, family, team. We are here for each other.